Nagbugan ng apoy si Inday po sa Congress. Parang dragon. Ikaw talaga niya, Mr. Maravillas. Ayan man talaga po. Ako basa ko na. Sa postura pa lang po. Alam nang magbubugan ng apoy siya. Sabi po ni Inday kanina, pwede na inyo akong balatan niya at pulbusin. Pero never anya ako na yoyokod sa inyo. Ganon katindi mga kababayan. Napakatapang ni Inday. Ito yung gustong-gusto ng mga supporters niya. Yung may pagkabarumbada. Palaban, mga kababayan. At ayaw niyang mag-take off. Kasi naman na niya Mr. Maravillas, yung sasabihin niya doon, malamang hindi man totoo. The rest, mga kababayan, na mga resource persons, nag-take off si Inday lang. Ayaw niya daw. Kasi self-incrimination. Yun ang advice sa kanya siguro ng abogado. Isabi ng mga congressmen, ito na sana yung pagkakataon niya para i-defend yung kanyang budget. At saka mga kababayan, may paliwanag kung paano nagastos yung pondo ng ating gobyerno. Talagang ayaw ni Inday. Matigas talaga po si Inday. Tigasin siya. Binanatan si Martin. Kasi ito daw ay pamamaraan ng Congress para siraan siya. Kasi sa tingin ng mga congressmen, kakandidato siya sa pagkapangulo. Politika, mga kababayan, ang tingin ni Inday sa pag-defend ng budget. Pero yung ibang mga offices, mga kababayan, nag-defend ng kanilang budget, nagmaayo. Si Inday lang po ang matigas ang ulo. Talagang naturang matigas ang ulo. Tingin ko po, il-advise si Inday kung may mga advisors siya. O kung hindi man, yung mga advisors niya, talagang hindi pinakikinggan ni Inday kasi matigas nga yung ulo. So, anong nangyayari? Lalo na nilulubog ni Inday yung kanyang sarili. Binabaon niya. Sinisira niya yung kanyang reputasyon. O, diba? At yung sinasabi na bumubuo ng kaso for impeachment, malamang yun ang direksyon niya. Kasi po, hindi nga niya maipaliwanag. Tapos ito pa mga kababayan, in-interview afterwards kasi hindi man nagtagal si Inday doon. Umalis agad. Paka basa niya ng kanyang statement po na maalam na si Inday. Siyempre, nandun yung media nakabantay. Tinanong siya ng relasyon mga kababayan with the President. Sabi ni Inday, hindi man anya kami magkaibigan ni... Hindi man anya kami naging magkaibigan ni PBBM. Ito po si Inday, oh. Pakinggan natin. Ito, matapos na lumabas na siya sa Congress. Mga kababayan, kasi uwi na daw siya.
Nakausap na ba ulit kayo amid sa mga nangyayari na ito?
Wala. Hindi naman kasi kami talaga nagkausap niyan. Hindi kami magkaibigan. Unang-una, nagkakilala lang kami dahil naging running mate kami. So, bago pa man kami naging running mates, hindi na kami nag-uusap. Nagkausap lang kami during campaign at dahil sa trabaho noon, banda ngayon hindi na kami nag-uusap. Ang kaibigan ko talaga si Senator Amy Marcos. Kilala niya ako since 2010. Nung nag-tender ako ng resignation, yun yung last na nagkausap kami ni President Marcos.
Ma'am, do you think kung si President Marcos magsalita para sa inyo and on behalf of you, baka maayos kaya ito nangyayari dito sa Kongreso?
Alam niyo, kasi madami hindi nang kilala sa akin, pero mag-share ako konti ng ugali ko. Hindi ako humihingi ng tulong. Alam yan ng tatay ko, naging mayor siya, naging president siya. Hindi ako humihingi ng tulong talaga. Kaya nga kanina kung nakita ninyo, kaya nga kanina kung nakita ninyo, lumapit ako kay Congresswoman Gloria Arroyo. Sinabihan ko siya, ma'am, huwag ka na magpa-stress dahil dito sa ginagawa nila sa akin. Kaya ko ito.
Pawa si Inday po.
Don't stress yourself about it. Yan din ang sinabi ko kay Congressman Marcoleta.
Matindi po, mga kababayan. O, ito yung akusasyon ni Inday, mga kababayan. Sa totoo lang, anya, hindi naman ang budget ang punterian ninyo. Dahil napakadali namang magtanggal ng budget. What you are trying to do is make a case for impeachment. Hindi naman anya ako kakandidato sa nalalapit na eleksyon. Hindi ako namumulitika. Ang ginagawa ko lang ay ang pagtupad sa aking oath of office at campaign platforms na trabaho, edukasyon at mapayapang pamumuhay. Malabo po. Napakalayo yung depensa ni Inday. Unang-una, mga kababayan, yung edukasyon ibinigay sa kanya. Hindi man niya nagawa na maayos yung DepEd. Di ba? Binigyan siya ng pagkakataon, mga kababayan, na makapagtrabaho. Hindi man nagtrabaho si Inday. Pinili pa ang mag-rally. Marcos resign. You see? Ito po, pinuliti ka ni Inday yung budget hearing, saka yung investigasyon kung paano ginastos niya yung kanyang pondo. Sabi ni Inday, ay ito ang niyang investigasyon. Ang ibig sabihin nito, sinasabi niya na huwag kayong bumoto sa akin sa 2028. Malabo po, napakalayo pang 2028 para gawin niya ng Congress. Sabi ni Inday, the topic of the discussion niya, Manila 2nd District Representative Rolando Valeriano's privilege speech last September 3 niya, is aimed at discrediting her. Siraan daw siya, sirain ang kanyang pangalan, and preventing future political contests. What we are witnessing now, sabi po niya, is no ordinary legislative inquiry. This exercise is well-funded and coordinated political attack. This is evident anya from the very words of the privileged speech that prompted this inquiry. A speech that simply meant to say, do not vote for Sara in 2028. Maliwanag anya sa akin na itong investigasyon na to is not about misused funds, accountability, or governance. Instead, it is only aimed at discrediting my name and my office to prevent future political contests. So sabi dito sa balita, the House panel was convened to discuss Valeriano's privilege speech wherein he asked the Office of the Vice President to show proof that its socio-economic programs were delivered. Sabi po ni Valeriano, the socio-economic programs niya were reportedly limited within the National Capital Region from 2023 to 2025 with 997,615 beneficiaries. However, Valeriano said it cannot be ascertained if the beneficiaries are real people and not ghost beneficiaries. Kaya po, nagpatawag ng investigasyon yung Kongreso. Ayaw maimbestiga ni Inday. Ganon, mga kababayan. Ngayon, sa kasasabi ni Inday na ito anya, designed to impeach her daw, sabi nga po natin, be careful sa ating mga binibitawang mga salita. Kasi, yung ating mga sinasabi, baka magkatotoo. Di ba? Lalo sa pag-uugali niya, mga kababayan, na ang ginagawa ng Congress, ginagawa lang yung mandato na siguruhin po na ang bawat sentimo from the taxes of the Filipino people nagagamit ng tama. Ayaw po magpaliwanag ni Inday. Ang gusto niya, basta bigyan na lang siya ng budget. Bala na siya. May mga nasili po na problema, irregularities. Disallowed nga po, 73 million. Pakinggan natin yung porsyon ng sinasabi ni Inday po.
We have not done anything wrong. There is no misuse of funds. If there are audit findings, we shall gladly respond to them before the Commission on Audit. And if there are legitimate cases to be filed, then we shall gladly respond to them before the appropriate courts. In relation to this, may I just say that I take notice of the opening speeches and nasabi doon, there is a determination of misfeasance, nonfeasance, and malfeasance. And those are cases that should properly be taken in the courts of law. What we are witnessing now is no ordinary legislative inquiry. This exercise is a well-funded and coordinated political attack. This much is evident from the very words of the privileged speech that prompted this inquiry. A speech that simply meant to say, do not vote for Sara on 2028. It is clear to me that this inquiry is not about misused funds, accountability, or governance. Instead, it is solely aimed at discrediting my name and my office to prevent future political contests. I have publicly stated my reasons as to why I have chosen not to defend the OVP's budget proposal for 2025. I have narrated the issues I encountered in previous years, which can easily be confirmed by looking at the NEP, the GAB, and the GAA for fiscal years 2023 and 2024. Further, I have even shared the drama that transpired last year regarding the confidential funds. Hence, just as we have done last year, we again leave the 2025 OVP budget to the pleasure of Congressman Martin Romualdez. I am not asking for any special treatment.
Kinaginitan niya si Martin, talaga?
Nor am I asking you to uphold any tradition. There is no disrespect. All I am saying is that you have the complete freedom to do whatever you wish with the OVP budget. If you feel that all the documentary submissions are not enough, then by all means, huwag kayo magbigay ng budget. Sa totoo lang, hindi naman ang budget ang punteriya ninyo. Dahil napakadali naman magtanggal ng budget. What you are trying to do is make a case for impeachment. Hindi naman ako kakandidato sa nalalapit na eleksyon. Hindi ako namumulitika. Ang ginagawa ko lamang ay ang pagtupad sa aking oath of office at campaign platforms na trabaho, edukasyon, at mapayapang pamumuhay. Sinabi ko na noon at ilang beses ko nang inulit na hindi ako ang problema ng bayan na ito. Ang totoong problema ng bayan ay kagutuman, kahirapan, illegal na droga, kriminalidad, terorismo, hindi na sapat na healthcare, kalidad ng edukasyon, kawalan ng plano ng infrastruktura para sa disasters, at marami pang iba. So, you may try to destroy me, you can skin me alive, and throw my ashes to the wind.
Matindi po.
But let it be known,
Napaka-arrogante.
you will find me unbowed. I will
Napakayabang.
continue to serve
Hindi
the
daw
Filipino
siya
people, no
yuyuko.
matter the personal cost or political intrigue. Having said that, I will not allow myself to be subjected to an inquiry based on an empty privilege speech just so you can attack me and do indirectly what you failed to do directly during the budget hearings. I therefore request this committee to terminate this inquiry for its clear lack of any proposed legislation or substantive matter for discussion. Shukran.
Tapos after several minutes mga kababayan na maalam na si Inday, umalis na siya. O ngayon, ito yung reaction ng ating mga congressmen. Pakinggan natin mga kababayan si Congresswoman Luistro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wish to manifest that the refusal of Her Excellency Vice President Sara Duterte to take her oath in today's hearing in the conduct of inquiry in aid of legislation is an affirmation of her stand, her position during the budget briefing of the OVP. And this representation wishes to manifest that when the resource speaker does not take her oath, then it follows that whatever statement she will provide, we call it could not hold any water. That being not under oath, the same cannot be used as an evidence in any inquiry, in any proceeding, Mr. Chair. In other words, her refusal to answer in the last budget briefing of the OVP is tantamount to her stand in today's inquiry of refusing to take her oath. That is for manifestation, Mr. Chair. And with that, Mr. Chair, I wish to remind the committee, our esteemed colleagues, and the Filipino people of the constitutional mandate that public office is a public trust. When there is a question, we're bound to answer. We're bound to explain. As a matter of fact, no less than the Philippine Constitution provides, we are accountable to the Filipino people at all times. We are now confronted by the issue on confidential fund. And I wish to emphasize, ang confidential fund po ay pera ng taong bayan. And we owe it to the people to explain kung paano ito ginastos, saan ito napunta, and to be specific, sinunod po ba natin ang joint circular regulating the use of confidential fund. Mr. Chair, I wish to raise as well, to invoke as well, and remind our esteemed colleagues that pursuant to the separation of power, we, the Congress, is exercising the power to legislate. Under this power, we also have the power of the purse. We can amend, we can revise, we can approve, and we can disapprove the budget that was proposed to us by the executive. And I wish to remind as well that the best instrument which shows the power of the purse of the people is no less than the General Appropriations Bill, which is an embodiment of the allocation for the entire Philippine government, which is the result of the legislative process of the Congress. In other words, ang budget po ng ating bansa ay napapaloob din sa isang batas, saklaw ng kapangyarihan ng Kongreso, and that is the power to legislate. To be able to make sure that the power of the purse is properly exercised, we are granted as well by the oversight power. And that is to make sure that all our legislations, that includes the budget of the national government, the General Appropriations Act, are well complied with by our fellow public servants. And to make sure, and as a consequence of this oversight power, we have this inquiry in aid of legislation. So I just wish to remind the Filipino people, and that includes the OVP, ito po ay trabaho ng Kongreso. Busisiin ang budget. And not only that, to exercise the oversight power to make sure na yun pong ating mga nakaraang legislation that includes the General Appropriations Act, ay nagamit ng tama ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno. I hope that the OVP will be enlightened to address the issues instead of attacking this institution, of politicizing, and matters concerning politics, Mr. Chair. Third, Mr. Chair, we should be uniform in the application of our rules. If we are guided by the constitutional mandate that public office is a public trust, if we observe malfeasance, misfeasance, and non-feasance in the LGUs, as a matter of fact, we have pending inquiry in aid of legislation concerning LGUs. Kung iniimbestigahan po natin ang Office of the Mayor, kung iniimbigastahan po natin ang Office of the Governor, by equality under the law, we should conduct an investigation as well to the Office of the Vice President. And I wish to thank the Honorable Valeriano for taking a stand before the plenary to initiate this inquiry in aid of legislation to address the observation not only of this representation, but of our fellow members of the Committee on Appropriations about the irregularities which we have seen already in the disbursement of fund, as a matter of fact, not only of the confidential fund, but even the regular allocation of the OVP. With that, Mr. Chair, may I proceed to my question for the COA.
O ngayon, nagpaabot din ng manifestation po sa naging behavior sa mga sinabi po ni Vice President Inday Sara, si Congressman Jay Congon. Pakinggan po natin yung kanyang manifestation.
It's a statement, Mr. Chair. The purpose of this inquiry is not to attack anyone, but to shed light on matters that affect our nation's governance. Refusing to testify under oath sends a signal that there is something to avoid. If there is nothing to conceal, why not take the oath? It is the basic act of accountability that all public officials must be willing to undertake. When a public official refuses to take an oath, it opens the questions about the truthfulness of their statement. Taking the oath is not just a legal formality, it is a commitment to honesty. Any refusal to do so undermines trust in public statements. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
O ngayon, si Congressman Acop, nagpaabot din ng kanyang manifestation. Pakinggan natin mga kababayan.
I would like to make a manifestation insofar as the refusal of the Vice President to take her oath insofar as the hearing of this committee is concerned. Such refusal can damage the public's perception of integrity in public office. The Filipino people deserve honesty and openness from their leaders, especially when their actions are being scrutinized. The House inquiry is in aid of legislation to serve the public interest. Dodging the oath gives the impression that the Vice President may not want the full truth to come out. No one is above the law or beyond the reach of truth. We humbly urge the Vice President to reconsider her position and take her oath, as this inquiry is meant to benefit the people we serve. Transparency should never be optional for public officials. We all owe it to the Filipino people to tell the truth under oath if it is necessary. Now, my second manifestation, Mr. Chair, would pertain to the issue of tradition as raised by the Honorable Marcoleta. And this is not my personal manifestation, but a manifestation of a group of Filipino citizens. And I would like to quote from their Viber. The Constitution of the Philippines, specifically Article 11, Section 1, explicitly states that public office is a public trust At all times, public officers and employees must be accountable to the people. Serve them with the utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency. The primary responsibility of legislators is to the people and the nation, as this provision emphasizes. It is not to maintain outdated traditions that may obstruct necessary scrutiny and transparency in government operations. Although some may contend that these courtesies are extended to high-ranking officials, it is crucial to recognize that taxpayer funds are the source of funding for all public offices, including the office of the Vice President. Consequently, it is imperative that each centavo allotted to it undergoes the same rigorous assessment as any other department or office. Legislators are failing to fulfill their obligation to ensure that public funds are allocated responsibly and prudently by prematurely concluding budget discussions. The power of the purse is vested in Congress by Article 6, Section 24 of the Constitution. This authority requires the scrutiny of the national budget to ensure that it is in accordance with the requirements of the populace and that government programs and projects are appropriately funded and managed. Budget deliberations are not merely formalities. They are critical processes that enable legislators to evaluate and challenge the allocation of public funds. The constitutional mandate is directly violated by the use of tradition as an excuse to conclude these discussions. This is particularly true when the OVP's budget incorporates confidential funds, which necessitate even more rigorous scrutiny due to their nature. The people deserve transparency. It is time, I think, to discontinue a harmful practice. Not the deliberations themselves, but this long-honored tradition of circumventing critical budget evaluations should be terminated. Upholding such a practice, particularly when it directly affects the management of public funds, is a violation of the public interest mandate of legislators. We are at risk of fostering corruption and mismanagement by allowing tradition to supplant accountability. We have the right to demand that our representatives in Congress carry out their obligation to scrutinize the budget without exception as Filipinos. The OVP, or Office of the Vice President, like any other office that receives public funding, is subject to the same accountability standards. In order to guarantee that confidential funds are utilized for legitimate purposes that advance the public interest, they necessitate meticulous supervision. The purse is a critical mechanism for preventing government overreach and the misappropriation of funds. Congress can guarantee that our government remains accountable to the people it serves by fulfilling this constitutional obligation. The public and our legislators are responsible for rejecting this detrimental tradition in favor of transparency and good governance. The integrity of our democratic processes and the restoration of trust in our institutions can only be achieved by doing so. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chairman.
So, ngayon, si Congressman Joel Chua, yung presiding officer, magbibigay rin ng kanyang manifestation po. Pakinggan natin, mga kababayan.
On issue of taking of oath, base po sa ating tradisyon at practices po nitong committee, ng committee hearing, ang mga resource person po at saka mga witnesses po sa mga committee po ay ang trato po natin sa kanila ay parehas lamang. Yun po ang pagtingin nitong committee to. Kaya po lahat po ang mga witnesses at lahat po ng mga resource person po ay nire-require po natin sila na mag-take ng oath para po malaman po natin kung sila po ay nagsasabi ng totoo at pawang katotohanan lamang. Ito po ay nakalagay po sa ating rules of procedure at governing po ng inquiries in aid of legislation. At para malaman po natin ang mga testimonya at impormasyon na kanila pong binibigay po sa atin ay totoo at maaasahan po ng committee at ng August body.
Si Inday ayaw mag-take oath. So ang ibig sabihin, yung mga binibitawan kasi niyang mga salita doon, hindi man po totoo. Yung mga akusasyon niya na pinopolitika siya, kaya ayaw mag-take oath. Pero tingnan ninyo, kinonsider pa rin siya. Dapat nga, dahil sa behavior niya po, kinontempt siya. Pero hindi siya sinight in contempt. Kasi sabi nga po nung mga nakaarang araw, doon sa unang hearing po, budget deliberation, ang gusto niya talaga ni Inday, i-contempt siya. Sabi ni Congressman Abante, pero hindi nila ginawa kasi gusto magpa-victim ni Inday. Talagang nananadya siya. Pinupost yan yung Congress, pinipikon niya yung Congress na i-contempt. Hindi man po napikon yung Congress, relax lang yung mga... Ang napikon po si Marcoleta. Kaya sinupalpal po niya, sinupalpal ni Abante. Hindi siya atrasan ni Abante kasi Abante nga. Congressman Abante, matapang yon, pastor yon, mga kababayan. Pag mali kay Abante, Abante nga hindi atras. Sinupalpal si Marcoleta, kaya napilitang isuspend yung sesyon. Ipagpatuloy natin yung manifestation ni Congressman Chua po.
Kanina po, pinayagan po natin ang ating kagalang-galang na Vice President na hindi po mag-take ng oath at hindi po natin siya pinilit. Dahil sa halip ay hinayaan din po natin siya at pinayagan din po natin siya na mag-manifest o magbigay po ng maiksing pananalita. Alam po ninyo kaya po natin ginawa yan ay dahil po sa pagbigay po natin ng respeto sa posisyon at sa opisina na kanya pong nire-representa bilang Vice President. Ang Kongreso po ay i-recognize po ito at ibibigay po natin ang respeto sa ating Vice Presidente at sa kanyang opisina. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin na ito pong insidente dahil hinayaan po natin kanina ay magiging president na sa mga susunod na committee hearing. Hindi po mangyayari yan at lahat po ng witnesses at lahat po ng resource person.
So pinasensyahan na lang po si Inday?
Ihingihan po natin ng paliwanag dito sa ating committee hearing.
Masyadong maangas?
Ay i-require po natin.
Arrogante masyado po?
At yung po ay nakalagay dito po sa ating rules. In fact, pag ito po ay isang ground para ang isang witness po ay ma-cite po for contempt. Pero dahil nga po sa paggalang sa opisina kanina ng ating Vice Presidente, ito po
nirespeto
ay
pa kahit hindi kare-respeto.
Palalampasin po natin. So, yan po ang opinion ng inyong chairman. Kaya po, with that, ang susunod po na mag-interpolate po.
Di ano na niya, Mr. Maravillas? Marami tayong abangan po. Kasi kahit hindi mag-appear si Inday po, tuloy ang investigasyon. Kasi mandato siya ng Congress, mga kababayan. O ngayon, yung sinasabi ni Inday na may binubuong kaso kasi para siya i-impeach, malamang yun ang yun ang magiging direksyon nito, ang kakauwian nito. Kasi nga po, grabe po ang nadidiscover. na mga irregularity sa paggamit ng pondo ng Office of the Vice President. Pati yung DepEd Secretary pa siya, yung confidential funds. Kaya yung bukang bibig ni Inday, na mina-mindset siguro niya yung mga mamamayang Filipino. Gusto niyang palabasin na pinagpaplanuan siya at makuha niya yung sympathy. Malamang sa kanyang behavior po, hindi niya makuha ang sympathy ng ating mga mamamayang Filipino. Kasi kinonfirm lang niya yung pagiging bratinela niya. Ano ba po, mga kababayan? Sa mga naghanap ng malinis and spacious fitness gym, pumunta lang po kayo sa aming Colossal Fitness Gym. We also offer Grab Car Rental with our brand new 2023 model ng Toyota Innova. We also accept booking for those who are planning to travel via PAL, Cebu Pacific, and other airline companies, local and international, and bills payment for Meralco Bills, PLDT, Aleco Bills, etc. Ang Colossal Fitness Gym is located at 3rd floor Security Bank Building, Landco Business Park, Legazpi City, Albay. For inquiries, look for Chilon Maravillas. Contact number 0966-802-0949. Yan yung aming Innova. Lagi na pong matao sa amin. Pati mga foreigners po, tingnan ninyo. Mga British tourists sila. Ang lalaki ng katawan na, mga kababayan, nag-gym sa amin. Ito naman po, Indian National. Ito mga mga European sila. Ito naman yung bago naming product na binibenta online, Eye Glow Serum. Whitening po siya galing sa South Korea. Tingnan ninyo yung epekto sa aking anak na architect entrepreneur, Riz Maravillas. For inquiries, look for Riz Maravillas on FB. Ito naman po, Firmax Firming and Lifting Cream. Pinapahid po ito sa mga pulses and affected area. Mainam po ito sa mga pains at paninigas na mga kaso-kasuan. Ito po, Automax Radiant Serum. Sa mukha naman yung application. Anti-aging po siya. You will look 10 years younger than your age. Sa mga cancer patients naman po, baka lang gusto ninyo itong itry. Nengxia Red Mixed Fruit Drink. Hindi man po siya gamot, food supplement siya. Kaya lang, gawa siya mga kababayan sa goji berry. Yung goji berry may anti-cancer properties. Yung mga inquiries ninyo, dumiretso na lang kayo sa aming messages sa Facebook para masagot namin agad. Ayos po, ako po si Dante Maravillas. Bye-bye. God bless.